So I'm here today to start another reading vlog. So this reading vlog is going to be the first official full week of school, but it's not really the first official full week of school because we have off on Thursday because of Yom Kippur. So I figure I will get a bunch of reading done because I will be commuting all week. So I do want to talk about the books I'm going to hope to finish. My goal is to finish the Novice Challenge for the Book Ghost Readathon. I have read a couple of books for this, so you can't really see it, but if you go watch her video, she explains it a lot. But you have to read 2 books to be entered into the readathon, and then you have to read some books for your background and character type. So I have a couple of books that I have to read for this readathon, so I'm just going to sort of talk through it with you guys. So the book that I've read already is Box, which was a standalone, so I only technically have to read one more book for like the entrance part, but I think I'm probably gonna read 2 just because I'm a little bit over ambitious. But my first book I'm gonna read is Rune of the Sky. Read a book featuring ghosts, haunted house, or other supernatural elements. So I think I'm gonna pick up a copy of Dark and Shallow Lie. It's an e-arc that I have. It's on my Kindle, and it's like a supernatural inspired thriller. So that's gonna be the first book that I pick up. And then another one that I have right here actually is called A Book That Has Been Tempting You on Your TBR, and that is The Ones We Are Meant to Find by Joan He. So this one I'm actually really excited about. It is like a loosely inspired science fiction thriller with sisters at the heart of it, and there is a beach setting, and then there's also like a STEM prodigy, which will fit for one of the reading challenges that I'm doing as well. And then the next book is Read a Book Set Outside, which is Reign of the Shadows by Sophie Jordan. I can also technically do The Ones We Are Meant to Find, but I might just do the other one. And then, so that's about my background. I want to read a book that's set mostly in the forest or outside. Province, read a book that features fae or elven characters. That is going to be Dark and Shallow Lie. This features fae characters. It also has asexual representation, I think, and I've never read that. And this cover is so pretty. Just let's say that. And then for Heritage, I'm going to be an Earthling. So read a book with elemental magic. So I am going to pick up Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. So these are my physical books on my TBR. I'm probably gonna start with the Dark and Shallow Lie because it is a Kindle read. And I'm also gonna pick up some ebooks probably this week as well. I mean, audiobooks, but they're not like connected to anything. So the first ebook I'm gonna start this week is going to be Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. This one has, I think it's deaf representation, which I need for a board that I'm reading. And I'm just looking sort of at my library of books. I think I'm probably gonna either pick up Shadow of the Fox or Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. So those are the couple that I am gonna pick up. They're both already downloaded. So yeah, I'm really excited for this reading vlog. I was hopeful that I would get some time, and I think this is the perfect week to dive into some longer reads as well, since I will be commuting so much because I have to commute 4 days a week. Next week it will be 5, but I'm really excited to dive into these, and I will share my thoughts with you as we go along. I have to go to yoga today in town. I'm going to probably pick up my Maya Banks book and just bring a book with me and probably read it before yoga happens. So I will talk to you guys when I'm back from yoga, and we'll talk about my thoughts on the Dark and Shallow Lies, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading, I'd say, about like 15 pages in A Dark and Shallow Lies. I don't feel comfortable enough to give my thoughts, but it is set in like a small southern town. There is a magic undertone. There's a missing friend. It sounds very like almost like Pretty Little Liar-y to me, but with a magical twist, I'm assuming. I also tried to start listening to my historical fiction book, but something was wrong with the download, so I have to try to listen to that later. But I did make some progress on Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. That is a really interesting adult fantasy book that has to do with the Tower of Babel, and he's trying to find his wife. It's very, very interesting. But I'm going to go try to read a little bit more of this and make some progress on my YouTube queue, so when I read a couple more chapters and get up to like 10% in, or maybe 15% in, I'll give you guys an update. So bye, friends. Reading the first 5 chapters of Dark and Shallow Lies. This is definitely an eerie and creepy read, but you basically follow this girl named Gracie, they call her. I don't know her actual name. They call her Gracie, and she winds up living in Arkansas, but she goes to live back in Louisiana for the summer. And it's a very, very mystical, magical town. There's a lot of seers. And over the past year, after she got into a big fight with her best friend at the end of the summer, her best friend goes missing, and no one can find her. It is everyone in this town has some sort of magical powers. Like, you can see something. She has never really had magical powers, but after her friend has gone missing, she starts getting flashes of what's happening to her. There's a lot of characters in this story, and I like that. It's also set in the summer. There's some magical overtones in it that I'm really enjoying, and I love books about small towns, especially small towns like this. And I just really like the characters. There's also some potential romance vibes. There's twins in it. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. So I'm gonna read another 5 chapters, and then I'm probably gonna go for a bike ride. So when I'm done reading those 5 chapters, I'll give you guys another check-in. Bye, friends. Reading the first 9 chapters in The Dark and Shallow Lies. I really am liking this book. It's very, very eerie and very, very creepy. There's a lot of aura stuff happening and like a lot of like magical powers, but in a more modern setting. So you never really know if this stuff is real or not, which is always how I like my modern day supernatural stories. Also, there is a lost girl at the heart of the story that is very, very connected to our main character, Gray. She's also I just love books about small towns, but there is a very, very eerie and creepy side effect to it as well that I'm also really liking. So I'm going to take a little bit of a reading break, go for a bike ride. I can't really go for bike rides during the week anymore because I'm working, so I like to go on the weekend, but I think I'm going to try to pick up my historical fiction book that I was in the middle of reading. But if I can't do that, I'll just listen to Someone Listens again. So I'll talk to you guys when I'm back from my bike ride. Bye, friends. I want to do a quick check-in. I did wind up listening to a little bit of my historical fiction read. I think it's Never Tempt a Scot by Maya Banks. It has a deaf main character, so that was for one of the Avengers reading prompts. I also scrapbooked a little bit and crafted a little bit. I also read a little bit more of The Wish, which is the first book in the Blood of Elves series, the Witcher series. It's like the short story collection, so I read a little bit of that. I'll probably take that to work. But my goal for tonight is to make quite a bit more progress on Dark and Shallow Lies. I'm on 25% in. I got up to chapter 9, so I'm going to keep reading, watch some YouTube videos, and I'll update you guys when I get up to chapter 15 maybe, and we'll see how I'm feeling. But so far, I'm really, really liking this. And funny, I'm also reading with my friend, which we did not plan, so sort of an unofficial buddy read. But I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in. It is about 8:17. I did wind up reading to the first 50% of Dark and Shallow Lies. I'm really liking this book. I think it's very eerie, very, very creepy. It has a lot of potential supernatural elements, which I do like. And there is, at the heart of the story, Allure is missing, and I think that that's really interesting to see how it's going to sort of shake out. My goal is to finish the rest of this book tomorrow on both of my commutes. I'm also going to be listening to my historical romance tomorrow, so I will definitely check back in with you guys. I really do like the main character a lot. I like the setting a lot. I like the mystical elements to the story a lot as well. We also got introduced to a totally new character, which I'm really intrigued about. And just the setting is super fun. I like that there's a big group of a friendship group. That's really interesting. It's great. So I'm going to probably watch a little bit of Nora from Queens. And I have to get up early. I have to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm probably going to head to bed a little bit early. But I did wind up reading 50% of this book, which was my goal. So very excited about that. I will touch in with you guys tomorrow, and I'll give you guys all the juicy details about my first day of school. It will probably be crazy, but that's what it is when you work in the DOE. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit, or tomorrow. Bye, friends. Right here, I'm back. It is about 6:36. Today was just a crazy day. It was the first day that we were back at school with all the kids traveling to all the classes. I know it sounds like not that dramatic, but I have 13 different classes, so I'm traveling everywhere. And as a theater teacher, I just carry a lot of stuff, options and opportunities and resources, so it's a lot to carry. I also I feel like I'm back at school for myself. I'm going back to school, and I don't know where any of the classrooms are. All the technology stuff was not set up specifically, which I know was going to happen, but just made me be a little bit disjointed, to be very honest. But I did get to see a lot of my kids from last year, which was really, really nice, and I'm really excited to work with them. But the first 2 weeks is always a little bit chaotic, and I also talk a lot in the first 2 weeks. I always lose my voice. I always get laryngitis. But it's also been like 2 years since I really talked to a full class. Like it's been a bit. Like last year I think my biggest class was like 12 kids. So this year it's like 20, 22, 24 kids. So it's just like a big jump, and I just hate when they all talk together because I don't like to scream, but that's just the nature of being a teacher. Sometimes you have to yell, and I hate yelling. So, but I didn't have to yell today, which is good. I just had to project my voice, and it's been a bit since I've had to do that. But I wound up getting through I have like an hour left in The Dark and Shallow Lie. It's getting very interesting. Like I'm very compelled to see how the story is going to wrap up. So I'm gonna go try to finish it and just try to rest my voice because I have to talk again tomorrow and for the rest of the week. We do have off Thursday, so I'm gonna go read a little bit. I don't know what I'm gonna watch as background noise. I may just not watch anything and just sort of give my brain a break, but we will see. But I'll talk to you guys when I read a little bit more of The Dark and Shallow Lie because I read it on the train, but I didn't really read it after. So I'll go do that and talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick check-in. I do want to finishing Dark and Shallow Lies. Really enjoyed this book. It was very, very interesting, very, very eerie and creepy with a supernatural twist, which it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. It definitely ended in a way that I was not predicting. I liked the way that it ended. I really wouldn't mind seeing these characters again because I really loved the premise. I thought that it was a super fun story. Very, very dark and eerie and creepy, perfect for Halloween or the tail end of summer. It has to also do with a hurricane, so if you're sensitive to that, it does deal with a hurricane at the tail end of the novel. I just like the characters. I like a close friend group, so I'm gonna go pick my next read. I'm probably not gonna read any more tonight. Honestly, I'm a little bit shot, but I know I wanted to finish this before I went to work tomorrow, so I'm going to go get myself ready for work, organize myself. I have to download a few things so I could listen to it. But I will come in here and tell you guys my next read, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So I'm gonna go do that or get myself ready for tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I did wind up choosing my next book. Actually, my friend Sarah, Jess actually chose it. So I'm gonna choose The Ones We Are Meant to Find by Joan He. This was an Owl Crate read. It also is supposed to be for prompt 2 in my reading challenge. So it's like a science fiction light story. It's 2 different point of views. One is a character that is sort of stuck on an island, and the only memory she has is of her sister, and then her sister's point of view is she is a STEM prodigy. So yeah, I'm really excited to start this one. I've actually had it on my TBR for quite a while. This was the Owl Crate edition. But yeah, I'm hopeful to make some progress on this one tomorrow. I also have downloaded a couple of things. I have to catch up on my podcast. I'm going to kind of make that my goal this week because I have a lot of podcasts to listen to and catch up on. So probably going to make that my goal and maybe listen to How to Seduce a Scot at some point this week, maybe towards the end of the week. But I have four or five podcasts to listen to, and I might actually just try to listen to that tomorrow. But my goal is to make some progress on this tomorrow. I'm going to also go soak out my Avengers reading board now that I know what the book Dark and Shallow Lies was about. But I'll definitely check in with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be home a little bit earlier than I was today. I didn't get home today until 6:30. But there was a couple of issues I had to solve. I had to solve today at work, so I was home a little bit later. But that's okay. But I will definitely check in with you guys tomorrow. I walked a night. I think, how long did I walk? I walked 13,000 steps today between running up and down between all the floors. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow, and I'll give you guys a reading update and a progress update when I get home. But yeah, I did like Dark and Shallow Lies. It would probably be a 4-star read for me, and I would definitely read more by that author in the future. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. I just want to say that I did survive my second day of teaching. It was a little bit of a longer day, but I did wind up seeing a couple more classes. We're still trying to get our technology sorted out, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll probably have all the technology I need from my side of the equation. It's just a lot of I have to 13 rooms have to be compatible with my computer, and it's just hard to make sure that I get to all 13 rooms and I see all the setups because it's just a lot of just running around and getting everything set and remembering what I do in every class and learning people's names. Always the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of school are always a little bit chaotic, but it's also just a little bit different this year. we're really very isolated in our own little room. So like we really don't see anyone unless you like go out of your way to like find somebody. And even then, like we don't have our own classrooms anymore. So like when kids go somewhere, like it's just hard to like reconnect with people. And that's why I like working in a school, because there's always someone to talk to. But we're really very isolated, even more so than last year, which I thought last year was very isolating. This year's a little bit more isolating, but again, we're only 2 days in. A lot can change. But I did wind up. I was listening to a bunch of podcasts. I did like a lot of my podcast listening today, and I'm probably going to do a little bit more of it tomorrow. But I do have off on Thursday too. But I did wind up starting um, the the ones we're meant to find by Joan He. So this is a dual perspective novel, and you follow one character named Celia, I think her name is, and she's kind of trapped on this island with a little android, and her whole goal is to get back to her sister. And then you have the other sister, Kaisley, who is I think it says in the summer, she's like a STEM prodigy, and she's in the scientific world, or not. She's in like a future world. It's very, very futuristic, but it's basically futuristic because of climate change. They have to like limit their activities to save the world, so they live very much like a virtual life. And her sister has gone missing, and there's two opposite point of views, which I really do like. I love books about alternative perspectives, but I've only read about 36 pages of it, but it's very interesting so far. Like I want to keep reading, so that's probably what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night. But yeah, so I will update you guys if I can. But yeah, it was just a little bit of a crazy day, like just running around, meeting all the kids. It will get a little bit easier like as the weeks go on and I know names. Also, the masks are hard because you can't hear people because they all mumble, but we need masks for safety, so it's like a double-edged sword. But I'm gonna go read a little bit more, and when I get up to when I read about 50 more pages, I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 84 in the ones we're meant to find. I'll be honest, I'm struggling with this book a little bit. I don't feel really connected to either of the characters, but I am like intrigued to keep reading. And it also is like an Avenger book. Like I have to read it because it has a STEM prodigy at the heart of it. But I'm just really honestly confused about both characters, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm probably still going to take it to work tomorrow and sort of read on the train, but I might bring a backup book or something to like read if I decide not to continue with this. I might also look up to see any other book that has like a STEM prodigy in it or a STEM character and just see if I have anything on my shelves. So I might do that right now. And just see if there's something else that I can read, because I really am not feeling this. And this always happens like the first week or two of school. I always get like a little bit disjointed with my reading because I don't really know what I want to read. And technically I did do the challenge part of my novice challenge, so I don't know. I'm gonna go look around to see if there's any other like STEM prodigy books or STEAM books that I have on my TBR that might work, and if I find one, I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Decide to put down that book, and I'm just gonna pick up Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson and Chris Gibraltar. This is a really, really quick read, and it will work for my Avengers reading challenge that I had to do, because technically with Vox and Dark and Shallow Lies, I have finished the Avengers part, the part of that quest, but I just think I need something a little bit easier to focus on for the next couple of days, and I do have off tomorrow, so I'm probably just going to try to read this, most of this book tomorrow, because it's a very, very quick read, and I think I'll be able to finish it on the train. And it is loosely inspired by Max. I think it's the world is teamed up with the world's most famous genius to entertain, engage, and inspire generation kids for first middle grade students, officially approved by Albert Einstein. I got this a couple of years ago at BEA, and I just never got around to reading it. But it's supposed to be super fun, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this tonight, and then I will update you guys probably tomorrow. But I did wind up tentatively putting off the ones we're meant to find. I'm definitely not going to get rid of the book. I'll probably just save it for another month, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Here, I just want to say that I did wind up getting home from work. It was a bit of a weird day. It was like it was a comedy of errors. So many little things went wrong, but I survived, and I have tomorrow off, which is super nice. I am also really liking this book by Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson and Chris Garbenstein. I've been saying names wrong all day, so I apologize. But I did want to reading the first 100 pages, and it's a delight. It basically follows this character named Maxine Einstein, and that's the only name she knows. It's not like a name that is actually hers, but she basically was living as an orphan in New York, and she was living in a horse stable. She was going to college because she's a genius, but when a group kind of gets wind of her and wants to kind of use her for nefarious deeds, another group kind of takes her under her wing and brings her to Jerusalem, and they are going to use these kids, and there's a competition to see which of these geniuses can pick a plan that will save the most humans or will be the most beneficial for humankind. And I read the first pages like in the past like day, and I like on my commute and my train ride home. I really have like quite enjoyed it. I also just got my unplug box, so I'm probably gonna unbox that tomorrow. But I do want to do an unboxing. Sorry, my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. The first 2 weeks of school, I talk a ridiculous amount, and it's been about 2 years since I've taught 13 different classes, so it's just a lot of talking over and over and over again. So, but I'm gonna go work out, and when I read a little bit more of Max Einstein, I'll probably give you guys an update. I definitely am liking this more than the ones we are meant to find. I'm about 100 pages in, and this is a little bit over I think it's like a little bit over 300-page book. So I'll probably finish this either today or tomorrow. But my goal is to just relax, decompress a little bit, work out, and I'll check in with you guys when it's time to start reading. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. It's about 7:55. Sorry again if I sound a little bit hoarse. I have been talking for about 4 days, so my voice is sort of shot. But I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 154 in Max Einstein. It's very, very fun. I really like the focus on all of the art disciplines, and I love how that they're really talking about how kids in the future can sort of come up with solutions to really push climate change and other initiatives forward. I just like Max as a character. I think she's super fun. I like that we're seeing a bunch of different settings. I also love that there is some art elements throughout this book. That's just a very, very fun read. And it's great. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm also watching this pyramid scheme documentary that I got recommended from Millennial from Andrew, and I'm really liking it. I always find those type of cults and businesses always so fascinating. So I'm going to read a little bit more. My goal is to maybe get into like page 250 by tonight, and I'll give you guys a check-in. I can stay up a little bit later tonight because I don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. It's the next day. I do a walk today because it's Yom Kippur. I do plan to get some reading done today. That's my big goal. I'm going to go to yoga later. But I did wind up getting up to page 164 in Max Einstein, The Great Experiment. It is a very, very fun read. I'm reading it pretty quickly, but there is a competition about finding the most brilliant kid in the world and using that kid's ideas to sort of save the planet. There are a lot of different side characters. It reminds me a little bit of this character setup that we had in The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because everyone had a different specification. One thing I'm curious if we'll see, like as the story goes on, if we'll get more information about these characters, because they seem a little bit like characterish right now, like they're very, very one-dimensional. But I really do like Max quite a bit, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. There's also other point of views in the story that kind of flesh out the villain a little bit more, and that reminds me of the 39 Clue series. So I'm liking it. It's a very, very fun read, and I hope to finish a majority of this book today. I'm also going to try to rest my voice because I've been talking for 4 days straight, so I'll try to update you guys as I can, but I'm going to go read a little bit more of Max Einstein, and I'll talk to you guys when I get up to maybe like 250. Bye, friends. Decided to put down that book, and I'm just going to pick up Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson and Chris Gibraltes. This is a really, really quick read, and it will work for my Avengers reading challenge that I had to do, because technically with Vox and Dark and Shallow Lies, I have finished the Avengers part, the part of that quest, but I just think I need something a little bit easier to focus on for the next couple of days, and I do have off tomorrow, so I'm probably just going to try to read this, most of this book tomorrow, because it's a very, very quick read, and I think I'll be able to finish it on the train. And it is loosely inspired by Max. I think it's the world is teamed up with the world's most famous genius to entertain, engage, and inspire generation kids for first middle grade students, officially approved by Albert Einstein. I got this a couple of years ago at BEA, and I just never got around to reading it. But it's supposed to be super fun, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this tonight, and then I will update you guys probably tomorrow. But I did wind up tentatively putting off the ones we're meant to find. I'm definitely not going to get rid of the book. I'll probably just save it for another month. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Larry here. I just want to do a quick check-in. I did wind up finishing Max Einstein, The Great Genius Experiment. This book was super delightful. I thought it was a great mix of steam and just a fun adventure story with kids at the heart of it, but there is adults involved in the story. And I always like that in my middle grade. I just like Einstein for a new generation, and I just like this, like the mystery, or what, well, not really mystery, what they were trying to solve was a realistic crisis that does exist. So I like that. I think it's very, very realistic, and it might give kids some real ideas, and maybe they can help solve problems in the future. But I really did like this book. It was quite fun. I would give it 4 stars. I'm going to go choose my next read and put this into my Avengers reading board and get my reward for the Tony Stark board. But I'm so happy I picked this up. I'm deciding between 2 reads. So once I choose that, I'll come in and we'll chat through it. But my goal is to read today and just sort of rest my voice, because when you're a teacher, you have to talk a lot. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. There are 2 Avengers. I captured Iron Man and Star-Lord, which I was very happy about because one of my rewards helped me get the other character. So I'm going to pick up Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan. This is also for the magical readathon that I'm doing. I have to read a book that's mostly set outside. This book is really short. It's like not even 300 pages. So my goal is to make some progress on this as I am sitting outside and hoping that I don't get caught in the rain and just resting my voice. But I will give you guys an update when I read about 50 pages. I read a little bit of this a couple of weeks ago, and then I just got a little bit distracted. So I'm going to go read this, and when I get up to that page 15, I will update you guys. This is a Sleeping Beauty inspired retelling. So I'm going to go read this, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm going to do a quick update. I did wind up reading the first 50 pages in Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan. I think I read probably 30 pages because I previously read the first 20 pages of this book. I am so pleased by this book right off the bat. I'm reading this book for a reading challenge where I have to read a book that's set mostly outside, but I'm also pleased that it has blind representation, which I've been looking for books that have more representation, and I'm really pleased with it so far. But you basically follow these 2 characters. You follow Luna, who was a former princess, but she was taken to be protected, and she kind of lives in this tower with 2 people that were a part of her mom's court. And then you follow this guy named Fowler, who Luna winds up protecting when she's adventuring outside, and she shouldn't really be outside. But I read the first 50 pages, and I'm intrigued enough. Like, there's a definite focus to keep Luna protected, and Luna doesn't want to be protected. So I hope that this book does get involved outside, because it's a book that's supposed to be set outside, but there is like a dark woods, and she was born when this happened, so that is why she is blind, which I think is a really interesting concept. So I'm going to read a little bit more. Sophie Jordan writes really, really good romances, or very, very compelling romances. I hope it doesn't feel too insta-lovey to me. That is sometimes what I feel with such short books. This book is not even 300 pages, so if it gets insta-lovey, I will tend to not enjoy it as much. But I am pleased to report that I am liking it, and I'll give you guys a check-in when I can. Bye, friends. I did wind up reading about, let me see, I wound up reading about 100 pages in Reign of Shadows. I am liking this book a little bit. I mean, I do like both like the character's point of view. I do like the setting. There's a lot of stuff happening in the story. It's definitely not my favorite, and I think it's more because like they don't have enough time to really dive into anything because it's such a quick story. But I do like both characters. I do like the outside setting. I really like to read outside books like starting in the winter because it gets to be eerie and creepy. But I am quite fond of, I like the characters. I think it's fun. I'm gonna go double check the Aurelium reading challenge this weekend because I think I have to read 2 more books, but I don't really remember. So I'm going to go double check, and then I'm probably going to read a little bit more before I go get my hair done. I'm going to take this book with me. I'm going to take my audiobook with me so I can have something to read as I'm waiting, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Hello, here I am back. I was able to get my hair done. If you've been following me for the past couple of weeks, I got my hair done, and it looked like it was like silver, and I didn't love it as much, so I got my hair done again. I'm really excited. The kids will be able to notice it, I think, tomorrow, which is really fun. But I did wind up getting up to page about 200 in Reign of Shadows. I don't know, this book isn't just clicking with me. I like the characters. I think it's a fun read, but it's not my favorite. I'm just going to try to power through because I only have about 100 pages left in it. And at this point, I think I could probably finish it. I don't know if I'm going to read the sequel. I do have it. I got an arc in a trade a couple of years back. I may just not continue with the series, or I may see if I can get it on like audiobook or something. Like if I can get like rent it from my library. Probably won't buy the book, but I like it. I think it's a fun read. It's for one of the prompts for the novice reading or the book roast reading challenge. So I had to read a book that was outside, and this is the one that I picked up. So I'm gonna go read this. I'm gonna watch a few more YouTube videos and go to yoga tonight with my mom. It was a really nice day off. It was just relaxing. I know tomorrow's going to be a bit of a beast because I hate when they give you days off in the middle of the week because it sort of like jumbles me a little bit. But I will see you guys when I've read at least 50 pages of this, and we'll chat. Bye, friends. Another quick check-in. It is about 5:40. I did wind up getting page 250 in Reign of Shadows. I'm liking it. It's definitely not my favorite. Honestly, it's probably like a 2.5 star read for me. I like the characters, but I don't feel really connected to them, and the plot is just not engaging me. Like, when did this book come out? I can tell you when this was published. Yeah, so this came out in 2016. It's been a bit. I'm liking it. I see like such small elements of it being like a Rapunzel retelling, but it's cute. I mean, I like it. I'm definitely gonna finish it because I'm really, really close to the end. So I'm gonna go read the last 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys an update, and then I'm gonna wrap up this reading vlog and start my next one. So talk to you guys when I'm done with Reign of Shadows. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I just want to wrap up this reading vlog. I did want to finishing Reign of Shadows. I would probably give this book like 2.75 stars, 3 stars if I round it up. It wasn't my favorite. I struggled a little bit with the world and the characters. I just didn't really feel connected to anybody in this story, so that's why I gave such a low rating. But it did work for the reading challenge I'm doing, so I'm happy about that. So 2 stars for this one. Also, the other books I read in this reading vlog were Dark and Shallow Lies, which was also for this reading challenge I'm doing, and that I gave 4 stars. Very, very fun read. I also DNF'd for the moment The Ones We're Meant to Find by June Hee. I wasn't feeling this book and I felt a little bit confused, so I did put this one down. But then I picked up Max Einstein and finished that this morning, and I really like this one. This one was also for the Avengers reading challenge. So yeah, I'm going to go start my next reading vlog a little bit early, and I will see you guys in that reading vlog. Thank you guys for following me, and I hope you guys like the reading vlog. Let me know in the comments what are some books you're currently reading and what was your most favorite read recently. For me, out of all the books I read this week, I think I really did like Max Einstein, and I also did really like Dark and Shallow Lies. So I'll talk to you guys for my next reading vlog or my next video soon. Bye, friends.